What's good, everyone, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we are reacting to what is Echidna in Deltarune. I don't know. Sounds familiar, but let's see where this goes, shall we? Hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel and the content provided. Hit the notification button to be notified immediately when a new video comes out. With all this said, the link to... Wait, did I say that right? The link to the video is in the description below, so give two left thumbs, some love and support for the video they made. If you have any videos that you want me to react to, leave it down in the comment section below. With all this said, let's continue on, shall we? Okay, let's go.
Howdy. Another one? Wow, I didn't expect the first cat tier video to inadvertently be advertising for more cat tier requests. But hey, who am I to refuse free money, right? What's the request? Echidna in Deltarune? We're gonna have to go into the unused monster code for that one. Before we get started, spoilers for Undertale in Deltarune. Don't hassle people for using text-to-speech, and be nice to your fellow theorists when you disagree in the comments. Around this time last year, I did a video that I titled Counter Code, in which I discussed a bunch of very creepy messages found within the game's code, alluding to some unknown entity trapped within the darkness. Although inaccessible without hacking to...
That is a lot of stuff. Didn't know there was a goner code in Deltarune. How interesting.
Spampton himself actually reads some of this code out loud when you ask him about fear, before suddenly snapping back to normal, and claiming that he didn't hear anything, before suggesting that, whoever they were, they sounded like they were talking to us. There's also a bunch of very creepy unused error handler text, which together reads like a very ominous sounding poem, but I also covered that in the Memory Heads video, so, you know, if you want to recap, go ahead and click the doobly-doo. But there is still one very creepy line I missed, and that is because this one is hidden, not as a placeholder message, but in the enemy data for a very specific unused enemy. Not Gaster. This enemy uses ID slot number 1, but can take many forms as a result of various scripts overwriting their data. Because they all share the same ID number, recruiting any one of them will give you the data for known quantity 1, with a randomized sprite, much like when we recruited Spampton in that goner code video. In battle, they use the default sprite, which is Rudden Sprite, and, for some reason, they can give you negative tension points when you graze their bullets and, that's pretty weird.
Holy cow. This is the first time I'm seeing this. Negative points? Jeez. Didn't think you could get negative points. I know you could subtract some by using some, but nothing like this. So weird.
Why it does that? If you've ever spawned into the debug room in Chapter 2, you've likely fought this thing in its basic enemy form. In this state, the X will freeze the game, and thus the only way to recruit it is to spare it over and over again, until it eventually accepts your mercy on turn 11. Hey future me here. Apparently, Simu Dance doesn't actually freeze the game, and provides another valid way to spare these guys. If you battle it alongside other, actual enemies, it can shuffle or copy their scripts in a way that's similar to some of the missing no's in the first generation of Pokemon, and thus it becomes much easier to act, and therefore recruit it.
Dang.
But, it's pretty...
That's very strange to actually hear that. It just sounds so random. What the heck is this?
Pretty normal to have unused placeholder enemies in games, so why should we care? Well, if you disable a little bit of the script here, you can actually encounter another version of this monster, named Echidna. No, not that kind. In Greek mythology, Echidna was a snake-like monster, living in the darkness of a cave, who gave birth to a multitude of monsters, earning her the title, Mother of Monsters. This is actually a pretty...
Isn't that within Greek mythology? Yeah, she was a mother that made. It was a mother in Greek mythology that gave birth to a numerous amount of monsters, if I'm correct. I don't remember them all, but I think one of them was a chimera. I don't remember, but I know it's in
Since
Greek
as the first of the
mythology.
code, she essentially acts like a parent object, which is later overwritten by new monsters as Toby creates them. So in a weird sort of way, you could say she is the mother of monsters in Deltarune 2. To homesick fans, Echidna is the denizen of the space aspect, the aspect concerned with the creation and manipulation of the fabric of reality, which makes
Hmm.
sense thematically, as that's basically the role she's serving in the code too. Something I find to be pretty weird is just how little of the original Greek Echidna survived over the ages, as very little was actually written about her.
Okay, so it was in Greek mythology. Got it. Knew I heard that name from somewhere. If it's mythology, then I would know a bit more about that. So yeah. Don't remember everything, every monster she made, but there were a few. I think one. I'm pretty sure one was still named Chimera, but I don't know.
And most unusually, there are no surviving depictions of her appearance from that time period, which basically means all the art you see of her today is essentially fan art. Yes, even this is fan art. I'm not trying to suggest that this is why she doesn't have a real sprite in game or anything, I just think that's kind of neat. She's also a moon orbiting around the celestial body of Typhon, but that's basically the standard for Greek mythology at this point, so I'm not.
Wait, Greek? No, technically that's Roman mythology right there. Not to be confused with it, but I think there was something called Roman Greek mythology. No, wait, that was a book. Never mind. That was a book about something else. Never mind. The planets were actually named for the Roman gods. Venus being the goddess of love, Mercury being, well, actually, it's kind of weird. Consider it, because in mythology, Jupiter is the stand-in for Zeus. Venus is the stand-in for Aphrodite. Mars is the stand-in for um, hold on, it'll come to me. Aries. Mercury is the stand-in for Hermes, Saturn. I can't remember. I think it was for Demeter. I know Pluto was the stand-in for Hades, and Jupiter was the stand-in for Zeus. I don't remember Uranus and Saturn, but I know the stand-in for Diana was Artemis, and Apollo was the stand-in for Apollo, which is pretty weird. So maybe that's why it was considered that they're the stand-ins for Greek gods. But yeah. Athena doesn't really have a a proper stand-in, because if I remember correctly, hers is not a goddess of war. If I'm correct, yeah. It was something. She was just like a like no, there was Olympians. I don't remember what the ones for the main gods of Roman mythology was called, but Athena stand-in wasn't really one of those characters. It was just a god. This Can't remember the name. I can't remember the name on the top of my head. I think. Anyway, Saturn was. I think the stand-in for Demeter, and Uranus was the stand-in for. Uh, Then Dionys. I can't pronounce the name right. I can't pronounce that name right. Anyway, yeah. Wow, that just went way off topic. But yeah.
Gonna worry about that. What is worth is how hard it is to recruit her. Since most acts will freeze the game, there is no spare threshold, and at 20 HP, most characters will kill her instantly with just one hit. Unless, maybe if we use Noelle? Yep, there we go. Finally, a real use for that absurdly low attack stat. Gosh darn it, past me, just use Simu Dance. It works on Echidna too. I know what you're thinking. The act script is probably broken because we're fighting this monster in Chapter 2, but what if we were to load this fight in Chapter 1? Would we be able to use axe or learn more about her? Well, let's see. I'll just tweak this encounter here, and...
What the fuck?
Oh, not gonna lie, I did not realize that would happen. Well then, a very interesting monster to be sure. This variant is
Definitely.
G-Body, and it has been theorized.
That is so strange to actually hear something like that. You never really get a creature actually speaking in voice. With the exception of, like, Jevil. Because I don't think any other character from Deltarune or Undertale actually does that.
That this thing may be related to Gaster, as its name is written in all caps, just like Gaster's dialogue, and like the various device scripts, which are theorized to be related due to file names, motifs, and other shenanigans that were already covered by Misty Sparkles' video, which is awesome, and you should totally check out. Anyway, the name G-Body is eerily similar to the names of the Gunner body parts found in the game folders, which are labeled Image Gunner Head, Image Gunner Legs, and, of course, Image Gunner Body.
That's a strange bit. Goner? Aren't those technically, those characters from Undertale that just appear within certain, fund values?
Wait, does that mean Image Friend and the game over screen from Chapter 1 are also related to Gaster? Huh. Now, I know what you're thinking. If this is G-Body, does that mean this is Gaster's vessel? If you fight it, does it have Gaster's stats? To which I say, thank God it doesn't, because Gaster's stats are an absolute nightmare.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sixes. Yep. That's a nightmare, because that means one hit and we're dead. And that means that... I guess any attack we do would almost be nothing, I guess. Imagine if they were all 9s. Oh no, that would be worse. That would be worse.
Let me show you why. If we override a normal monster's data with Gaster's stats, the first thing you will notice is that his attack is a bit high. Like, it's over 66,000 high. Like I'm wearing the best armor, with debug mode on, so I can raise my HP far, far above the normal limit, and even with all of that, I still die immediately the moment a bullet hits me. Wait, did it just delete the soul sprite? I have no idea why that's happening, but I choose to believe it's probably not intentional. Probably? The next thing you might notice is that his defense is also just a bit high. So high, in fact, that not only will your attacks not do damage, but they'll actually cause his HP to grow even higher every time you try to land a hit. A bit like the amalgamates, which might actually be why this happens. Maybe the amalgamates are meant to reference some of the weird bugs Toby encountered when creating this game. Who knows? What I do know is, he definitely doesn't need that much defense, because his HP is even higher than either of those, sitting at 666,666.
Doesn't matter if you can one hit. Because if this is as it goes, then one hitting wouldn't really do anything. Since if it causes a miss, then everything's kind of pointless. Ugh, that sucks. That means if you even try to spare, you have to play perfectly just to even try. And if the HP goes up, committing genocide is pretty pointless. Oh man, that's a nightmare. Just thinking of it just gives me the biggest migraine right now. Because that means fighting is pointless. Because in the end, it doesn't matter what you do, you will always lose. Oh, gosh.
Are you noticing a pattern yet? With that much HP, he would take thousands of turns to kill, even if his defense were literally zero. So if we're intended to fight this guy in Deltarune, then let's just say that these stats for the big one had better be the real stats once it's repaired, or we're going to be fighting this guy forever. But, is it even worth it? Surely a boss this tough has got to at least give a really good reward, right? Did. Did he just steal 6,000 gold from me? I wonder if the shopkeepers accept negative money. Nope. That checks out. Okay, but he also gave us negative 6,000 EXP, so surely that's gotta be useful, right? If EXP's execution points, then does this cleanse us of our sins, freeing us from the burden of our sadistic decisions, and restore us back onto the good route? Surprisingly no, actually. Gaining negative EXP does not reduce your level, nor does it prevent you from entering a genocide run, as that is determined by number of kills in each area. You might be thinking that maybe you can just kill Gaster before you kill some monsters, since, in theory, this would prevent you from leveling up, but shockingly, that actually won't work either. The pacifist run doesn't just check if you have EXP or love, it checks if you've ever killed a monster at all. So if you were hoping to be above consequences by slaying a demon, then, I'm sorry. The only thing to do now is reflect and, maybe, own up to your mistakes, you know? Try to come to terms with why you made them, and make a commitment going forward to try to make amends, and not shy away from the uneasiness of your own flaws.
Yeah, that doesn't sound helpful or useful. So basically, we're in an endless loop of everything. But the negative EXP sounds really weird, to be honest.
Speaking of, I believe I owe you all an apology for a critical mistake I made during the eggs video. I've been feeling a bit rushed lately, and when you're trying to rush through the editing process, sometimes you make really stupid mistakes. In this case, what happened was, I was trying to illustrate the fun events in Undertale, but all of my footage and memories of the events were over a year old, so they were both quite fuzzy, and my attempts to quickly grab newer footage led to me accidentally implying that you can trigger this event by just walking back and forth in this hallway in rapid succession. In reality, whenever you attempt to trigger a fun event, the game actually resets your fun value to 0. And in order to try again, you have to close the game, manually edit the value back, reload, etc. I promise this wasn't me hatching some elaborate Machiavellian scheme to mislead you all. I'm actually just an idiot sometimes, especially when I've been editing for hours and am in dire need of a break. So, do still
Yeah, that's reasonable. I mean, you're just human, like all of us.
call me out when I'm wrong, because I don't want to be worshipped, okay? I make mistakes, just, try not to assume I'm making them on purpose, okay? Special thanks to Space Corps for help funding and researching today's video. That said, don't feel pressured to back at cat tier if you don't have any ideas yet. I'm not a game review channel, or even a theory review channel. Cat tier just lets you pick a topic. Where I end up going with it will almost certainly not be where you expect, and I don't want you guys to feel pressured to break out the big bucks to support me. If you have to drop a pledge, or all you can do is tune in, I appreciate whatever enthusiasm you have to give, you know? Thank you as always to my
Oh dang, my mouse didn't work there for a second.
Who returned once again to do the voice of G-Body. And finally, thank you to Ever Rude for doing the voice of Spampton. In the ad read you're about to watch, you can check out their stuff using the links in the description below.
Hey, it's your old pal Spampton, back at it again with a holiday special.
It's the most wonderful time
to completely sell out by pitching
the crappiest merch
you have ever seen.
Warning, these designs have neither been tested or approved by the respective handlers and will not be held responsible for any unexpected side effects such as...
Be amazed.
I'm actually really happy I put on the text, because... wow, that's a problem to deal with.
Good on paper, but are completely butchered when printed on random mugs and apparel. Check the street marks and images as the mouse printer tries desperately to interpret the inscrutable instructions given to it. Yowie wowie! Why haven't we pulled any of these off the shelves? These are absolute shit! Thrown together with
little care at all.
As for every
30.
Oh damn.
quality holiday hoodie, we get
A measly 10 whole cents
with each sale.
Oh, okay.
These are so good I'm myself. What's that? You want to make a refund? No problem, you little worm. Just scan.
Oh, that's merch. I did not mean to do that.
If anyone has any suggestions for merch production,
Nope.
so your comment doesn't get buried.
Yeah, I'm not gonna take credit for that. I just realized too late. Okay. So, this was an interesting thing. Can't believe it actually took this long, but yeah. Here we are, here we go, we got this done. Honestly, this Gaster bit right here, it's pretty interesting, and the fact they mentioned something from Greek mythology is actually a bit surprising in my opinion. I didn't really expect that we would go over something like that, but I can't say I hate it. I like mythology, so can't say I hate it. But yeah, other than all this, I have to say this is pretty well done. Pretty interesting, the fact that there's this mysterious enemy that we never fought or never heard of before. Gotta say, love the details about that. Can't hate it, can't disagree with it. And I find it really important because we might actually end up fighting this opponent. And if they are like Gaster-like stats and just a bit more regular monster-like in a way, it will be a nightmare. No joke, I can just imagine it and it'd be a nightmare just to face whatever it is. So yeah, other than that, hope you all enjoy. If you did, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button to support the channel, support the content and all that. Hit the notification button, be notified immediately when a new video comes out. Other than that, with all this said, tell me your thoughts on this in the comments section below. The link to this video will be once again in the description below. So be sure to give Two Left Thumbs some love and support. But again, other than that, hope you all enjoy. I'll see you all next time. Bye!